Good morning, Piptown residents. How are we doing today? Wow. Axel, you are correct. I am late. Unfortunately, I heard back from Hogwarts, and they had rescinded my application. So, unfortunately, I am not going to be attending wizarding school this year. Apparently, there was some sort of COVID outbreak amongst the Slytherin crew, and now nobody's allowed to go there. And before you comment on it, I know it's a Lord of the Rings reference, and I know it's something that Gandalf said. Uh-oh. My mic not working? John Randalls. John, can you hear me? I guess Axel cannot. Check to make sure your mute switch ain't on. Thanks, John. Today, man, what is going on in the community right now? One of the more active members of the community gets the ban hammer. No good. Let's go ahead and read the official announcement from A-Box on the official LEGO Discord. Hi, everyone. Yesterday, we had to permanently ban an active member of our community, active to say the least. It saddens us that this had to happen. However, we want to reiterate, we have a zero tolerance for inappropriate conduct. We firmly believe in the values that are embodied by LEGO and Gameloft. We hope our amazing community will continue to reflect these values. And if you see anyone doing otherwise, please reach out to a member of the Gameloft team or our community moderators for assistance. Please interact with kindness and empathy. Take a break if you feel that tilt is coming. Don't share content or behave clearly against our terms of use. Remember, we're here because we enjoy a great LEGO game. Let's stick to that topic. Guild banters are fun and fine when they are mutual, but be aware when it is not and becomes toxic. Thanks for helping us build a unique and awesome community. See you in the game. So, what happened? What do you think should have been their response? Do you like the moderator's response? Do you like the ban? Do you think it was too far? I want to hear from you on what you think the Discord community's role is in the live version of the game. Now, I'm assuming that this ban is just a ban from Discord, not a ban from the actual game, maybe, but I'm not sure. That part is unclear to me. And since this ban happened, there has been so much chatter on the Discord server that I haven't actually been able to figure out if that ban is just a Discord ban or a full game ban. John says, to be honest, it was a long time coming, so not super surprised. Yeah, they have been a lot clearer recently about, or actually, they have been starting to get a lot harder recently about appropriate behavior in their community. They have continued to stress that the game is supposed to be family friendly and that the Discord server is there to discuss the game. There are obviously channels on the Discord server where you can discuss pretty much whatever you want to, but their user use and permission rules are pretty clearly laid out, I would say, and I think the brand itself is, whether the people who run the company act this way or not, I can't speak to. Obviously, I don't know any of them personally, but the company itself represents a very family-friendly, inclusive environment. I mean, most of the characters are literally yellow, so with the exception of when they are clearly modeled after real people, like the Ghostbusters are, they are without a race, they are without a creed, they're from outer space, they're aliens, it's a whole bunch of different people, and it's supposed to be all-inclusive and fun, right? Greedos got banned, and I have no real idea why, but apparently something inappropriate. This is from Redbeard. According to his version of the facts, he shared some inappropriate memes, but it was on direct messages and on the demand of the receiver. Redbeard says it's fair. There are more than enough servers for guilds, etc., where you can say whatever you want. Axel says, Nothing related to official Discord. Axel, what do you mean nothing related to official Discord? Hold on, I gotta tilt this mic back a little bit. Apparently today I'm a little taller than I usually am. While you guys are discussing this, I am going to start the gaming process. Okay. Completing, looting. I woke up today around 7 o'clock and had full energy, so I actually decided to use some of it right away, so I wasn't just sitting on it and wasting it before the stream. But don't worry, we will have plenty to use more. Ah, John says he shared it in the official Discord before he DM'd people. Now, in this case, I think there is something interesting to be said here, right? Because obviously the direct messages, unless the people who received those direct messages could screenshot those with a timestamp of when they released them or when they received them, and then compare those to timestamps of when the same thing was received in Discord, it would actually be pretty easy to show where these went first. My question is, does it matter where the messages were sent first, right? If they're inappropriate for the Discord server and they get sent there at all, then does it matter if they were sent in direct messages first? Does it actually change anything? Redbeard, this is a good point, right? You put something up on the server and then you go, you know what? I don't really like that. I'm going to take that down. But the moderators can still see it. They can still see that you deleted it, I'm pretty sure. But they can also still see that you put it up there in the first place. And anything that goes up is going to get seen. Even if you delete it right away, someone's going to screenshot it somewhere. Somebody's going to catch it. I mean, we see this kind of stuff all the time, right? Usually it has to do with celebrities and nudity, but oftentimes it's about hurtful stuff as well, which makes it a lot less fun. All right, let's go in here and see if we can get more of these castle tiles. You know, the interesting thing about a super active player, a super active community member, is if you take away their opportunity to share within the official community, then you have to wonder what's going to happen to their gameplay. Now, if it's only a single person, then the loss of their gameplay might not particularly matter. Even if the person is really, really huge. I mean, if you've got 1 million players and you lose one, doesn't seem like that big of a deal, right? Redbeard, I agree with you. As I mentioned, I did a lot of scrolling through the chat channels in order to find it. Last night when it was going on, my phone just started blowing up with Discord messages. Not direct messages, but just like the community chat messages that I was getting were just like flooding in like crazy. But it was just too much, honestly, and I couldn't log in to follow it all. So when I went on to follow it this morning, it was impossible to go back through there and figure out what was going on. He makes content. I'm assuming this is going to lead him to stop making content. And he already has said he's considered stopping. Yeah, I've seen that in several of his videos so far, that he's become less interested in actually contributing to the welfare of the game in that particular way. Sorry, I got something in my eye. I think one of the interesting things about that, though, is that from time to time, it is made clear when you have the ear of the developers, and I think Greedos clearly did, and I think that it is a good thing to offer constructive criticism to someone when you know that they are open to hearing you. And obviously, if the person has a closed mind to you, then anything that you say to them is going to, as the expression goes, fall on deaf ears. He had already made the comment, yeah, that he hadn't been playing Brickspedition like in an entire week, and the rate of his content had started to slow down. Lego Legacy. Yeah, I was just shedding one single tear, like that, like that. What is it? That Tobey Maguire GIF that they made from Spider-Man. I think it's from Spider-Man, the third one, where they zoom in on him and he has just the one tear coming down. Ridiculous. But I digress, right? So it's interesting. It's interesting to say, okay, I do or I don't like the game, and then provide yourself reasons and suggest ways that maybe the game could improve. It's also especially helpful if, like I said before, if you know that you have the ear of the developers in some manner to offer up suggestions of how to make it better, right? So to use myself as an example, and I'm not saying that I'm the only or the best example out there, but when I talk about, for example, that the dodge meta of the final node in Brickspedition is a problem, then you don't just want to say, oh, this sucks, and leave it there. You want to provide some context, right? Because I like the game, and I notice that there are things in the game that could be improved, and that's one of them. So sometimes it's incredibly frustrating, but you go, okay, listen, the problem here is not that this final node is hard. The problem is that this final node isn't fun anymore. It just seems like a chore to get through it. And it's because of this dodge mechanic, so we suggest you take the dodge mechanic out. And as the most recent patch notes show, they listen. Now, they might listen a bit more slowly than a lot of us want them to, but there's a big team over there that have to make a lot of decisions about what to change in the game and how to alter it. There's a lot of code that gets written that has to get debugged, that has to get troubleshot. There are a lot of things that they have to do, so I'm sure that it probably could be a little faster. Most things could be a little faster, but it's nice to know they're listening at all, right? Soft launch players are so far along with their farms that the content is just not enough for them at this point. But I still think most people are fairly active. Yeah, Redbeard, I think that that is correct. I am not a soft launch person. And I think one of the easiest ways you can tell if someone was soft launch or not was whether or not they had a 7-star Redbeard while yours was only at 3 or 4. How do we say that? Do we just say WAF or do we say WAF? Anyway, I told WAF that starting by 2 15-minute unboxed events in 2 weeks was not the best idea, and he seemed to agree. Yeah, Axel, I agree with you there. Yeah, it's a fair point, good idea, since we have a 3-map brick pace. What do you guys think about 1 map being released every week? Rip, no one getting to tier 7 in the scroll challenge. Yeah, to be honest with you, so Dark Yada, I see you in here. A lot of this has to do, and this is diverting this conversation for just a second, but there's definitely a gold crunch in the game. Everybody talks about it all the time, right? And the unfortunate reality of there being a particular resource crunch of any kind is that it means that all the rest of your resources are out of balance, right? So even if you could complete the tier 7 of the scroll challenge, the question is, do you need to? Because you're more limited on your ability to level up your characters by how much money you have anyway. So I can just sit here on this previous node. I don't know if I've even ever tried this node, to be completely honest with you, because I have never needed it. So the biggest issue with a particular resource crunch is that it makes the rest of your resources somewhat irrelevant, doesn't it? Because we can just get so many of them that we don't need to worry about it. What's the other challenge today? Here's another good example, right? gear challenge. I haven't even done gear 6 because it just has more. I haven't done tier 6, I should say, because it just provides one more opportunity for, what is this? For the Fancy Fish 1 plan than the tier before it. And I already have more of these than I need anyway. So I don't have an incentive to go for tier 6, aside from the 2 gems and 250 coins, which, let's be honest, are gonna get you nowhere. John, that's the easiest last node challenge. I should just do it one day. Same with scrolls, I don't need them. If you try to level up multiple teams. Oh yeah, so Axel, if you're trying to level up multiple teams, the scrolls are not that overbalanced. That is true. However, that stops once you actually try to level up multiple teams past about level 35, and then the amount of gold that it requires just far outpaces it, as I'm sure you know, actually. But I think that is where you see that big tilt, and because in the game, in the arena especially, getting at least 1 or 2 teams up to level 50 is more important than having all of your teams at level 35 or 40. I think that's a good reason why we feel that crunch. Magisto tiles. Oh, right. Yeah, we finished the Magisto tiles for all the... We finish all of the battles for the extra Magisto tiles for the achievements. Thank you, Dark. Yes. So I have actually been leveling up my castle team. I have been focusing on these 5 so that I can be ready for when Primo comes back. Jester Gogo stuck here down at 2. This is a pretty difficult farm, all things considered, because there's only one place to get him unless you spend gems in the general store. But my Magisto is at 4 stars, so I keep forgetting to go back and finish all the rest of the achievements for him because he's already ahead of everybody else. Go for one team at a time. That's what Axel said. I mean, that's what Redbeard says. I agree, man. Going for one team at a time, there's usually only one team at a time that's relevant. So let's see. What else do we have to do? Did we finish everything except the arena and brick expedition? I think so. We've got 72 monolith energy. So let's go ahead and use that. We're going to come in here and grab more of the Headley tiles as we continue to cram those castle tiles. Am I free to play? Lego, I'm assuming, is that question for everybody? Or if you're at, well, I can answer for myself, obviously. I am close to free to play. I would consider myself maybe a sardine. I think I've spent about $15 in the game in total since it came out. In case you are interested, the things that I have spent money on have been, at the beginning of the game, the one-stop shops. I think I have purchased this, I want to say 3 times. So what does that mean? I've spent a little less than 20 bucks. I tend to feel like all of these packages that give you the direct tiles are relatively overpriced, especially because they don't give you the option to spread the currency around that you've been getting. $8 for a 2-star Firefighter Ash. That actually might be a pretty good deal because Firefighter Ash is relatively difficult to get. But a lot of these other ones, like $30 for 75 Peter Venkman tiles, that it just seems too extreme to me. And I'm willing to pay for the game because I enjoy the game and I want to see it continue, and obviously it's got to make a profit for it to continue. But more than that, nah, I haven't seen anything that's worth it. Let's see. What do you think about GB in regards to free-to-play players? Is it exciting? GB. Oh, Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters will be nice for free-to-play new players. For level 50 players, meh. Yeah, I think what Axel has said is probably right. I made a video of going through the unboxed event for the first time. The video was made without me having seen it at all, just going through it and my initial reactions. And to highlight some of the parts of the video, unlocking Venkman is very easy to do. It seems like unlocking all of the Ghostbusters at 1 or 2 stars is probably going to be very easy to do. And I think that new players will be excited about that. I think the problem is that in order to get them up to any end game useful level, you're going to have to spend, I would say, no less than several $100s based on the price point that they have them at right now. I mean, if you were only to get Dr. Venkman up to 7 stars, let's see, it costs you $30 to get him up to 3 stars, and you need something like 300 some odd tiles. So you'd have to spend $100 just on Venkman to get him up to 7 stars if you wanted him. So I think it'll be a nice intro for new players to get into the game. I think that ultimately, though, they're all going to have to start getting pirate teams because it's the only way to make money. $50 for the healer pack is so cheap. Axel, $50 for any digital pack is just so expensive. I think one of the things that people forget about these digital games, and this is just my opinion, right? It's your money. So you spend your money on anything that you want to. It's your money, right? What I have to say about a lot of these kinds of things, people have said to me before, well, what's the difference between collecting Pokemon, collecting Lego characters, Star Wars Galaxy of Hero, Marvel Strike Force? What's the difference between collecting those and collecting baseball cards or any other collectible? And the answer in my eyes is those are physical, tangible things. And while it's still true that the value of that object is the value that is basically assigned to it based on what the rest of the collectors want, at the end of the day, what you're paying for is a thing you can own and hold. And someone had to make it, somebody had to work to make it a real thing. One of the difficulties with doing the same thing digitally is it's literally just ones and zeros. You can just turn it on and off. There's no production pipeline past the initial development of it. So I think it's very different to pay $50 for some digital character than it is for you to pay $50 for some other collectible that's important to you in your real life. You can display, put on a shelf, whatever. But that's just me. Why not bricks in auto mode? Dark, excellent question. So I don't do Brickspedition in auto mode because I want to be able to control when all of my characters use their heals. Now this is obviously just level 1, so I probably could do the entire Brickspedition in auto mode. But I'll show you, for example, even for these battles, the first few that are very, very easy, I will very, very consciously save all of my healing abilities to the very end. And even though I don't need to use them, as I'm about to show you right now, I will still use it anyway, just to top up all of my characters so that I can go into the next node with all of my characters as high as they can possibly be. The first half of Brickspedition, this is relatively less important, but it's good to get into the habit of doing it so that you don't forget when the levels, start to get a little bit harder. Let's see, talking about the Ghostbusters, Redbeard. I feel the opposite way. Peter is big DPS, but not really useful without the whole team, whereas I see the full team being crazy good. Yeah, I stopped the auto in level 5. Cool. They sure have nice skills, but a high cooldown on average. So one of the things that I discovered while playing through that unboxed event, and I think I commented on this in the video that I made about it, is that their synergies are actually a lot better than they look. And the reason for that, or the reason why I feel that way, is you look at things like Egon Spangler's passive, which gives everybody a chance to heal for 5% or 10% of their health on an assist. And then you look at Peter Venkman and you go, oh, well, he's the only one who can pull an assist. But then you combine that with the set, and it turns out that there are actually going to be assists on every other turn, especially because Venkman's assist ability only has a 2-turn cooldown, so you can use it every other turn. So they're going to have these synergies that they have that feel a little weak are actually made a lot stronger by the amount of times within a given battle that synergy occurs, if that makes sense. That's basically what I found out. Oh my gosh. Yes, Egon, the ultimate ability, if you have the full Ghostbusters team alive by the time Egon gets to use it, it's so powerful and it's so much fun. It's going to be really, really unfortunate when we start seeing it in the arena, but by that time, we'll have to question whether or not there's a good counter for it anyway. The set is on the 3rd map, so I think that is going to be correct. Now remember that they do give you the 1-star set to start off with. Of course, that's not particularly helpful, right? A 1-star set is not doing anybody much good, but they do give it to you to start off with at least. The ability mats needed to increase the first ability to level 2 are way too high. Are they higher for the Ghostbuster set than for some of the other sets? To be honest with you, I wasn't interested in leveling it up, so I didn't even look. Oh yeah, T3 set materials do definitely need to start appearing in more places. Even if they're hard to get, I save up currently. I use all of my Brickspedition currency on the tier 3 set materials, which means I'm constantly waiting for the store to refresh to show me those particular things rather than just using them every time. We'll see if anybody gets Slimer, really. Requiring... I mean, if we go back to what we said about Venkman, right? It's $30 to get him at 3 stars, and then you would need another... It's 100 tiles for 6 stars. And is it 50 tiles for 4 stars? It's 10, 20, 35, 50, right? And then 100... And then 150? No, I'm missing one. But anyway, it's going to cost you about... It's going to cost you probably $60 to $75 per Ghostbuster to get them up that high. So I have a feeling that we're only going to be seeing Slimer from the people who are willing to spend like $300 to get Slimer on the first round. Axel, I have noticed that my pirates miss more than any of the rest of my team members. And maybe that's just because I use them more, so I'm more acutely aware of it, as it were. But Argenta in particular, for me, ends up missing with that opening attack, that big pistol attack. She misses so often. It's completely unreliable for me to use it now in a very, very strange way. But yeah, a lot of people have also been complaining about Redbeard's ultimate because it does seem to miss a lot. But I wonder if that also might be because I think Redbeard's ultimate is the one that is the most overrepresented in the game as a whole. I think more people, because of the necessity for gold and because of the fact that the Pirates are just a good team, I think there are more people in the game who have actually leveled up Redbeard high enough to get his special than any other character. I'm seeing a lot of people that have Magistos now, but in order to get him up, you have to be able to farm the last node of Glyph Hunt, which many people can't do. A lot of people have that chicken one, but you don't see that anymore because the chicken suit guy just isn't part of the arena meta. So I wonder if the statistics are skewed because so many people have Redbeard that we actually, whether or not our percentages, our perceived percentages are accurate, we are seeing him fail more often than we see anybody else fail. So we assume that he's got a higher miss chance on that ultimate than other people. Let's see. Redbeard, these people will not be able to run Ghostbusters for Arena unless they're 7 stars. Yep, I agree with you. I mean, 3 of the pirates have only 1 eye. What can you expect? Scooby, a brilliant point. Argenta, Redbeard, and Cookbart all have only 1 eye. So we have to assume that their depth perception is just way off. Oh, that's what Scooby just figured it out. Scooby just solved Lego Legacy Hero Unboxed. The problem with the pirates is that they all have 1 eye. Who are we going next? Let's take out the Cactus Girl. Let's see, I'm used to speaking in terms of percentage of the total personally, but free to speak in terms of increase, obviously. Axel, that was, I think I know what you mean, is that what I was saying about the perceived reality versus the statistical reality. I think that's what you're commenting on. "50% increase equals 150% total Redbeard." Where are we going to next here? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes left. We're going to keep getting the Firefighter Ash tiles as we continue to level up our city team. I think it's ironic that you have to level up your castle team in order to level up your city team in anticipation of Officer Primo coming out, huh? Okay, who are we going for first here? The team's relatively weak, so we'll just smash Scarlet. Answering Redbeard about the 150-50. Oh, sorry. I see what you mean. I see what y'all were talking about. You know what I would think would be really interesting, actually? If the Slimer event comes out and everybody realizes how expensive it is to level up your Ghostbusters high enough to get Slimer, and nobody gets it. And they release this whole character and 0 people get it. I also wonder all the time about the margins on games like these, where you go, all right, I think it's a bit much to ask people to spend $30 on a less than halfway leveled up version of a digital character whose only synergy seems to really exist if you also spend that same amount of money on the rest of his team. But that's just me. But it feels like the most complaints you get are people who kind of feel the same way. Like a lot of these packages are way overpriced. And so I have to wonder what the conversion rate is of these packages. How many people do actually purchase them? How much money do they actually make? And would it actually make more money if they made it $5, right? If they made the package $5, they just have to get 6 times as many people to purchase it. And I'm sure they have lots and lots of experts working all the time to try to figure out exactly what the price of these things should be. Right? They have to. If they didn't do that, it would be incredibly silly. I mean, this information does exist out in the world, right? So go get it. But that would imply that $30 for a Peter Venkman package that you get him at 3 stars is appropriately priced because the research is out there and they've done that research in order to figure that information out. But that just floors me every time because it's so expensive. What are your thoughts? What's going on here? Been paying short attention to this, and we need to... It's a little harder to keep everybody healed up completely when you have just the pirates. I can heal a little bit. No, I think we just get more out of just smashing the Yeti. Thank you, Axel. Have a brilliant day, dude. Whoop. Oh, I did not mean to actually click on this, but you can see I have 160,000 scrolls because I have so few things that I've been using them on right now. I'm so excited for the raids to come out, man. I want the raids to come out to give us more reason to use more of our characters. I think everybody does. Everybody just wants more content in the game, more reason to log in and play, you know? Okay. So after this, we're going to go back and forth, joining and exiting out of the final map so that we can use all of our guild allies toward the Magisto achievement that requires it. I think I'm at about 350 out of 1,000, so gotta get to work. Oh, did you miss? Did you also miss? Of course, you do have accuracy down, so I can't be totally shocked. And, as was pointed out earlier by Scooby, you only have one eye, so can we really be that surprised? Let's take the auto crit. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and heal up the Bartner. The Bartner? Well, I don't even know why I came up with the Bartner. That's a terrible name. Okay, are you finally out of stealth, Redbeard? Thank you, because I would like to quash you, please. Woof. Hiker going down. Let's take out... I was hoping for the assist there. Give me the assist. It's alright, we'll get the auto crit. Take you out this way. I need to clear out the characters and save for the big heal to have everybody ready to go for that final node. Oh yeah, Redbeard, that's a pretty good idea. That's a very good idea, man. I need... Where would I be without you? Do you have any idea how many times... I mean, I'm sure you do, because you're doing it. Different pieces of advice I have gotten from Redbeard's parrot. Different times he has reminded me to put people in my excavations, because I always forget. Some of the strategies employed fighting arena teams, especially the pirate arena teams. Whew. Redbeard, I would be so much further behind if not for you. You're a man among men, unless you're a woman. In which case, you're a woman among... I think the expression would still be you're a woman among men, but that sounds mean then. So, if you're not a man, then go with the positive note of the expression you're a man among men, meaning that you're great. So there. Okay. So this is, as Redbeard was pointing out now, in case you're new to this, there is an achievement for using guild allies. And using guild allies in the Brixpedition does count toward that achievement. And even if you enter into a battle with a guild ally and exit that battle, it still counts as having used that guild ally. So you can use your extra guild allies at the end of a Brixpedition map to actually achieve that achievement. Terrible way to say it, but I did it anyway, so deal with it. So what I'm doing here is actually going through and using them to get points toward that guild ally achievement. What Redbeard was pointing out is I could have been doing this during the entire Brixpedition map in order to make the Brixpedition map move faster. I've gotten into the habit of not doing that in case I need to use them in the final Brixpedition map, that I have all of them available to me to use. But of course this is on map number 1, and I'm not going to need them, so I could have been using them the whole time. Okay. Only 12 more to go after this. Oh, man. We'll do it faster tomorrow. Plus, the collectible squad is super easy anyway. Just put in the time. Get them in there. 12 left. 12. 12 guild allies. Wah, Man, when are they gonna have a Sesame Street gacha game? That's the one. The login character, you're gonna get tiles for for Big Bird. Snuffleupagus, the mighty tank. Oscar the Grouch, the debuff character. The support debuff character. Gonzo, the attacker. No, wait, that's Muppet Babies. That's the Muppets. But then where are the... Oh, when is the Muppet Gacha game gonna happen? Come on, guys. Get on this. I look to you. Because I'm not gonna create it, but you could. I believe in you. Create my Muppet Gacha game. Grumpy Granddads. Or, what is it? Mortimer and... Who's the other one? Are those the two Grumpy Granddads? I feel like it, right? Mortimer and... Wallace? Waldorf and Mortimer? Something like that. They would have incredible synergy when they're on the team together. They always attack. They would be attackers that always attack together. Randolph. Thank you, Eduardo. Randolph and Mortimer. That's what it is. Waldorf, Randolph. There you go. Randolph and Mortimer. They would be the, if you played Star Wars Galaxy of Hero, they would be the Wedge and Biggs duo that just yelled at everybody and just critted every single time. Every single time they attack, it reduces all of the turn meter of the enemy team to 0 because they're just sad. Kermit the Frog here. Aw, what would Kermit be? What role would Kermit have? That's a good question. We're getting down there. Whew. How many do I have left now? 7? Man, I stopped paying attention. Okay. How many do I have left? 7. All right. That means we're more than halfway. We started at 15, and there's 7 left. After this will be 6, and we'll actually complete this final node. This will be the first week of all of the changes being implemented for Brixpedition. I noticed that my My 7-day final node yesterday was actually still level 64 ninjas. So I know that they said that the level cap is going to be 62 now. So I had all the Garmadon tiles and things at my disposal. But it seemed like the levels were still higher than they had advertised that they would be. So it'll be interesting to see this week how the difficulty ramps up from board to board. I do still find it interesting that the way the boards, the difficulty ramp up the boards in general, though. I do like that it seems like now on every board, the third to fourth last node is a step higher before they bring you down until the final node, which is always the hardest. I think that that's a smart thing to do, to ramp up the difficulty starting a little earlier in the map. I think they still have some work to do. I think they know that, though. Yeah, Lego. That's Lego Legacy. That's what I'm doing right now. Is exactly what you've described. So I have 4 left to do. The last one is going to be my highest level Scarlet, and once I get her down, then I'm actually going to go and complete this map. The biggest difficulty with that achievement is I need to use 1,000 shared heroes. That's a lot, man. Of course, the rewards are more Magisto tiles, so we gotta do it. I think the idea to have low-level nodes where you can use your low-level characters is fine in theory, but in reality, no one levels up units halfway and leaves them there. Yeah, Redbeard, I agree with you. But the other thing is that there's no incentive for you to use your lower-level characters if you can use your higher-level characters instead. So that would actually, it might be more interesting if there was a sort of, if you got to see the whole map, and it required you to use all of your characters, but each character could only be used, say, 3 times, or something like that, and then you could plan out where every single team was going to go. That would actually probably require that you use more of your unlocked characters, right? I'm not sure that that's a perfect idea, but it is a possible solution. Y'all can't see this, but my fiance just came into the room, and she's just wiggling her butt at me. Get out of here, you. I either invest fully or not at all. I think that's what most people do. Redbeard, I agree with you. I think because it's such a long farm to get most of these characters up to 7 stars that once you start doing it, you're like, okay, I'm in it to win it now. I better keep going with this. 1K heroes, I think 2K is next. Lego, I think you had your fingers like a whole button. I think you had your whole hand a whole button over on that last one. Hard to write when it's raining on my phone. Man, you are committed. Watching this outside in the rain, I appreciate your support, dude. There's no point in leveling a Toon to level 17 and 3 stars and upgrade his abilities to level 3 just to try him in Prixpedition. I agree with you, man. I think there's a... Do you guys play any of the Idol gacha games? Like Idol Arena Evolution or One Punch Man, Road to Hero, any of those? There's this interesting and not so interesting thing that happens where when they allow you to play as much as you want all the time, they have to make it ridiculously hard for you to farm heroes because you're allowed to play as often as you want to. So they have to lower the drop chance of the heroes even more than they're already lowered in a lot of these gacha games. Which at the beginning of the game actually makes it really appealing because they give you so much new content right away, as all these games do, right? Because they want to suck you in. It's a really good method for getting players. So kudos to them there. But then at a certain point, the grind really can get to you. And the question is then what do you do? Because you don't want to lose players, but you don't want to just arbitrarily make it easier. That defeats the whole point, right? I think that there's yet to be a game that actually provides that correct balance for me. I think that the more characters you release into a game, the more muddy the water can get. But at the same time, if you don't release new characters into the game, then the water gets stagnant. And as everybody knows, stagnant water grows mold and bacteria in it. And nobody wants to drink stagnant water. That's why you should always drink your water through a filtration system. No, I don't know. But, in all seriousness, a game like LEGO Legacy Heroes Unboxed, right, is still relatively new in its lifespan, which means that the number of characters available for you to farm is still low relative to the other games like this that are currently available, right? So, right now, it feels like the content runs out very, very quickly because there are a short number of things to actually use your energy on. There are a relatively short number of characters to get. And it still takes you a significant amount of work to get them. If the gem rewards follow the price inflation well, it can be good. Arnar, that's a good point. So they introduce, so every game does this, right? They introduce some form of premium currency that will allow you to speed up that grind process if you're willing to pay for it. Basically, the game developers have said you can play our game for free, but here's the pace at which you have to play it. And if you want to play it faster than this, then you have to spend some money to do so. I don't see any inherent problem with that, except when that starts to become required in order to make any sort of progress, right? Because then essentially what you're saying is the game is not actually free. I mean, you can demo it for free, but if you want to play it, like really play it, you have to spend money. And then it just feels like it's kind of confusing, right? Is it a free-to-play game or not? And all of the mobile games have the same problem, don't they? There's that point at which you go, all right, well, the game is free up to a point, but if you pay money, you get something more. And the question is, what should that more be? Is it I get more of the game? Is it that I can play through the game faster? Do I get an edge over other players? And I think every game has to make that decision for themselves, obviously. But with LEGO Legacy, I think that the game is still new. I think they're still really trying to figure out the best way to balance all of those issues. It is nice that they have a Discord community where we can express all of our issues. I know that they check their tweets and their Facebook page and all that kind of stuff often. So it's nice to know that they're listening, you know? Eduardo, I wish they come out with Bill and Ted. Oh man, yeah, and you can get Napoleon and Ludwig von Beethoven. Oh gosh. Keanu Reeves, young Keanu Reeves, in a role that he would continue playing for the next 50 years, but sometimes with martial arts and sometimes with guns. Okay, what are the bonuses we're getting for Brixpedition tomorrow? All heroes gain 2 stacks of heal over time for 3 turns. Interesting, alright. All heroes gain 15% max health for the entire battle. Cool. All heroes gain defense up 1 for 2 turns. Great. Now before we get out of here, let's double check In our quests, this is what I wanted to look at. The achievements. Where am I on? Ooh. All right, check this out. Road tour, complete 300 Brickspedition missions. I'll be getting this one pretty soon. Tomorrow, I guess. Win 500 arena battles, coming up pretty well on this one. Use 250 brick separators, coming up on this one. I just have to complete all of these chapters, which all have basically one level that I have to complete. Max out all the missions in chapter 4, max out all the missions in chapter 5. The thing is, I don't need to do these yet because I can do all of them basically at once as soon as they announce that they are going to be releasing Primo. Since I don't actually use Magisto for anything, there's no incentive for me to get these any faster right now. But it's nice to know that they're this close. Excavate 30 Brickspedition maps. I'll be doing that this week. Have 50 minifigure heroes. This will come with time, I guess. Complete Piptown. Complete 100 missions affected by special effects. Oh, I'll have to seek these out. I don't have these all memorized. Star up, max out. Dig site. Add 500 heroes that match the excavation's bonus tag. So you'll notice in the Brickspedition, I don't just add enough heroes to get me up to that maximum bonus. I add every hero that has a tag, and this achievement is why. Treasure tracker, earning relics, completing maps, upgrading a hero ability, maxing out opening bags, maxing out. Here we go. Use 1,000 shared heroes. I'm at roughly 400 out of 1,000. So I've got my work cut out for me. What is it? You get 15, then 12 heroes, I think. 15, then 12, then 10. Then is it... There's a 7, there's a 5, and somewhere else around there. So you get, what, roughly 40 or 50 shared hero opportunities in a given week of Brickspedition, which would mean that I need like 2 full months of doing this in order to use all 1,000 shared heroes. Lego Legacy, after 1,000, you have to achieve 2,000. Oh man, I gotta pull up my big boy pants and get to work on this. Star up a set 50 times, heal a hero using medkits. Uh-oh. Did you freeze? There we go. Purchase 50 items from Brickspedition store. Complete all the hard missions. Get 5 minifigure... Oh, to max stars. This will be happening pretty soon with a fair number of my pirates. Get sets to max stars. Level up in the arena. And complete 1 Brickspedition event. Now, this Explorer one... I don't know how to get this one because I've completed several Brickspedition events and I still don't have this achievement. So if there's something that I'm missing or something that I'm doing wrong, please let me know. Because to me, complete 1 Brickspedition event would mean complete map number 7, which admittedly is very hard to do because of the ninjas at the end, but especially now that it's easier, you should have an even easier time doing it. Arnar, it might be a bug, and actually, now that I think about it, this week, if I can, I might make a video of completing the final node on board 7, if I'm able to do it this week, because sometimes the RNG gods are just not with you. But if I can actually do it and then come in here and show that this achievement is still turned off, it might just be worth it to create a short, like, 1-minute video of that to post to a dev and say, hey man, what's going on with this? I think it's a bug, seen it reported on official Discord. Oh, okay, cool. So they're already aware of it. Well, great. Then I can actually make a recording of it just to support, like, that it is actually happening in real life. You know what I mean? Our energy is used. let's come in here and do one of our arena battles before signing off. Ooh, I only got knocked down to rank 39 overnight. That's pretty good. This 33 team looks like relatively low-hanging fruit. So let's go in here and battle them off. Redbeard has the achievement because Redbeard is the superior beard. Okay. All right. They force us to attack Magisto first, as per usual. But we're going to save all of our big attacks for Brutus. Wow, they are really just chock full of ire for Redbeard, aren't they? Come on, Redbeard. Get up there, sir. And he's going to auto miss. So instead of that, I'm actually going to remove the damage down from Argenta. We'll give everybody damage up. Attack up. With Valiant, great. Waiting for Brutus to use his special. Wow, okay. Taking it to Argenta, man. Alright, Brutus down. Now we get the taunt from Valiant. I mean, this might be good if I can one-shot Ash. Oh! Was hoping for the one-shot. Because now, unfortunately, we have to target Go-Go, but I think we'll still be fine. Remove debuff immunity from Jester Go-Go with Redbeard's ultimate, which hits for once. Hooray! I love it when he puts taunt on Magisto. This is why Brutus is a dangerous character to have on your arena team. Because he actually makes it easier to kill your arena team. And we'll auto-battle the rest of this. Brutus is not going to kill 4 of my pirates. The next stage of the achievement is 5 completions. So that's 5 weeks, minimum. But that's good. Are there enough achievements? I know there are enough achievements to get Magisto up to 5 stars. Are there enough achievements in the game to get him all the way up to 7, though? Which quest did we just complete? One of these time quests. Yeah, and the time quests that are now in here. These are fun, right? I mean, we're already playing all of these aspects of the game anyway, so it's not like any of this is changing. It's just extra rewards for stuff that you were already doing. I'll be interested to see if they make these a little bit more unique going forward, right? Obviously, spending energy in Glyph Hunt and Piptown missions is something we're all already doing. But I guess it's nice that we get a little extra reward for it. Zombie tiles, I don't know that there's anybody out there who's clamoring away for the zombie character, but they're going to give them to me for free. I'm not going to complain. We get some extra Lloyd tiles if we complete all of the arena battles. Let's see. If you are to win all 5 of your arena battles every day for a week, then that would be 35 arena battles without refreshes. So this one is very doable without having to purchase refreshes unless you get way behind if you're in that upper tier where you actually do lose some of your arena battles. But otherwise, getting some Lloyd tiles, great. Lloyd is a long farm. A lot of people want the Lloyd character. Plus, it gives you a little extra of the arena currency, a currency that is very, very hard to get and lacking if you're not in at least the top 50, really. If you're in the top 100, it's close, but if you're in the top 50, then that means at least you get to shop in the arena store at least once a day, and this might actually help in a minor way, not very much, right? 30 is not going to do a lot, but still help in a minor way to get you there. But I'll be interested to see if they add more timed events into the game that are you have to use city heroes, or you have to use castle heroes. You have to use your pirates, and then you get bonuses based on that, rather than simply play the arena, play the glyph hunt missions, etc., etc. It's a good way to make sure that people don't leave the game, that they come back into the game to spend time and energy. Obviously, the more time that people spend using your product, the more money your product is inevitably going to be making, because it's more time that people have to see what it is that they need. And if they can't get it with the in-game currency, then they'll get it with their real-life currency, I suppose. Now let's see, did we get enough? Nah. Report your bug anyway. More reports, the better. You know how slow they are at fixing stuff. Yeah, that's true. I think I could get him to 97 out of 100. Oh, that's so close, man. But it's good. It's good that they don't just give them to you right away. I think it's fun that you have this character that persists, that you continuously need to level up. I'll be interested to see if they ever change the reward character for all the daily quests, and if so, when. What they do with Redbeard's tiles, if they change him out of the collecting all of the quests node, if they change the achievements from awarding you with Magisto to awarding you with something else, or if they are going to create new achievements in the game once there are enough tiles, once there are enough achievements to get Magisto to 7 stars, if they add new achievements with a new character into the game. I think all of this will be pretty interesting, especially for the people that have been playing for a long time, that maybe already have just about everything there is to get, and the only reason why they still play is just out of the routine rather than because they're building anymore. Redbeard, it's 5 completions because it is the achievement for the whole week. Right, not one map. There's another achievement for that. Yes. Well, I'm going to let you guys go for the day. It is a beautiful Saturday here in New York, and I actually have some construction projects to do around the house. So, you guys be good, and I'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern. Later, alligators.